Live from Toronto to the world.
Josh!
This is Josh Holiday Live. Talk that rocks.
The public needs to be informed.
Josh might surprise us.
Got an opinion? Dial 647-6YO-JOSH.
When you hear him, you're like, what?
Josh Holiday Live starts now.
Oh, hello. It is Josh Holiday Live. Starting very lively. How do you like that, Sandy?
I love it. I'm already in. I love it.
He's in. He's here.
Yeah.
Guest tonight. Taking your call. We'll get it right off the hop. Taking your calls at 647-6YO-JOSH. Sandy Jobin-Bevans.
Yes, correct pronunciation.
Rhymes with Kylee Evans.
Yes, it does.
Had you been just a regular old non-showbiz couple, it might have been Sandy Jobin-Bevans Evans.
We considered that at one point.
But for showbiz purposes, you got to kind of keep your independence in that way.
It's exactly right. Kylee needed to keep her independence. She's more established, perhaps, and so it's best that she was just Evans, but it confuses everybody why my name would be Bevans and hers would be Evans. And then we wouldn't combine them.
No.
It is confusing and troubling. A little
Troubling.
Wait, is this a discussion you had
I don't
that
know.
got serious? Or?
There has to be some sort of relation somewhere down the line. I mean,
Yeah, we discovered in Welsh that Bevans means brother of Evans.
Oh.
So we're probably related in some way.
Have you done Ancestry.com?
We did.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did. And it told us that we were part Portuguese and Moroccan or something like that.
Wait, both of you were part Portuguese?
There was a little bit of the Portuguese side, right, Kylee?
Well, yes, there was, but you had a much different ancestry than I had. So the only real in common ancestry I had was the Portuguese and the Welsh.
Yeah, and you know, just for people listening right now, we could not be more white, and so we can't understand how we could possibly have any kind of Portuguese, Spanish, Iberian Peninsula.
Iberian Peninsula, but I'm intrigued by it because Portugal is one of my favorite places.
Well, at least, Sandy, you have like darker hair.
Darker hair now,
but Kylee, not so much.
No.
You can see the actual picture.
Yeah.
If you go to you could just go to joshholidaylive.com or Spreaker.com and look for Josh Holiday Live.
You know, I was actually really surprised they didn't come back and say your background is a piece of paper.
Yeah,
that's how white we are.
Just they'd show like a bottle of vanilla.
Yeah, you guys are so white. You're just a bottle of vanilla and maybe liquid paper. For those
That's
of you
right.
that
Liquid
enjoy
paper, vanilla.
Paper. Yeah.
Mixed together. A little bit of like a translucent glass.
Yeah. That's all, just images. They don't send back any country names,
countries.
Just images to say how white we are. We broke the system with how white we are.
I got the kit and just sent my spit out a couple of days ago.
Oh, so you're on it.
I'm curious.
I feel like you might be, I say British. Kylee?
Yeah.
You definitely have.
British or Jamaican, and probably the two I've sort of been thinking, but it's hard to tell.
Are you kidding?
Wait, Jamaican?
No.
Come on now.
I'm kidding. My God.
But who knows? I mean, I had
a
Iberian Peninsula in me. Like, come on.
That's true.
I'm very pasty as well. But I'm adopted, and I know my biological mother.
Right.
Know of my biological father, but there's still questions just generally about, you know, what's where, what's happening.
Right.
And so I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah. I was about to ask when were you adopted, but I think you're probably going to say when you were an infant.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born just at the end of an era when young unwed mothers would get sent off to have children.
Yeah.
And my biological mother got sent off to Bracebridge.
Oh,
where I was born in Bracebridge.
Lucky you.
Never lived there.
Yeah.
But much of my growing up life, we had a cottage there, and we would visit Bracebridge all the time. Yeah. Santa's Village.
Yeah, great.
I worked there for a month.
Wow. Fired?
No, I wasn't. They wanted me to come back next year as a supervisor. I was the coolest elf.
Oh. Yeah, clearly, if you're going to be...
You mean the next year you worked there, not next year, currently?
No, yeah. They reached out. They were going through the archives. Yeah, next next year. It's weird. They just got in touch. But I was, I think, 16, and I had the red pants, but I tapered them.
Yeah.
And then on my name tag, instead of Josh, I had Party.
Oh.
And I never got in trouble. They were like,
Yeah.
that's fine. And I helped run rides.
Yeah.
Cool.
You told people how you felt about coming to work as an elf. Party. I'm here to party right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Santa's Village.
Real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then, okay.
Yeah, sure.
It was a fun like month-ish. The only thing that was terrible, because there were a lot of cute girls at the time.
Yeah.
And they had kind of a end of summer cruise on Lady Muskoka.
Yeah.
And I was driving to the cruise and ran out of gas in my car. And so by the time I got it filled, the boat had left the dock. And,
Oh, no.
yeah.
That's
it was
sad. That's really sad.
It was.
I guess, really, the playback when you're a teenager, though, is you're supposed to run out of gas after the party when you bring your lady home,
When
right?
you bring her
Right,
home.
Kylie?
Sandy's
Sure,
tips.
sure,
Yeah.
Sandy.
Write this down, young
Yeah.
people.
Oh, out of gas.
Yeah, we just ran out. That's
That's a sad thing to put your time in at Santa's Village, and then you miss the after party. You miss the wrap party, essentially.
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, that's right. I was invited to the rap party. It would have been wild. I know it. So, Sandy, I knew you first.
Yes.
From just improvising around town, and
Yep.
then we were in what became the last Second City Master Class,
Right.
where many of the people have gone on to much greater success than
us. That was the late great Paul O'Sullivan.
Paul
at that
was the
class
greatest
at the Second City in Toronto, and that was the final master class before they switched over to the conservatory program. So I was in the first conservatory as well. So I ended an era and started a new.
Oh,
one.
you were in the conservatory.
Yeah,
as
the
well.
first
Wow.
round.
Double.
He doubled it down, did it.
Who directed the conservatory?
Sherry Hollett.
Oh, Sherry. Okay.
Yeah, and so we had Gavin Crawford in that group, and Christine Von Hagen was in that
Okay.
group.
Are you talking about
our
the-
group? Our group. Me
Our
and
group,
you.
yeah.
Me and you.
Yeah, Gavin, Paul Constable.
Paul
I think, was in
Constable,
there.
yes, the Canadian Tire
Matty
guy.
Watts.
Matty Watts was in that group, bringing all the sunshine that he brings.
There was a guy, Peter, who Peter Adderman, and in the weirdest coincidence, he married like a cousin of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad's sister. Mm-hmm. He's married to one of her daughters.
Okay. How awkward is it?
Well, because I rarely run into them, but we weren't chummy or anything in the Second City.
I just remember him making things kind of awkward.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Who was
Sometimes.
better? Who was better in the class?
Between who?
Between Josh and
I wasn't very.
Peter.
I wasn't
Josh.
very good. I was always
Josh
very
was
shy.
Oh, well.
And then my default was to go to a bad Asian stereotype.
That was bad Asian stereotype, which was big in the 90s. That was a big thing. You could get away with that.
Yeah, not anymore.
not so much now. No,
I don't think you could get away with it then either. Josh tried to, but it didn't. It didn't go so well.
No, and it was done in like it wasn't done like the characters were likable characters,
Yes,
and it
yes.
was based on people I went to boarding school with, and
Yeah.
but it just yeah. Anyway,
Look, we all make mistakes.
and then we did master class, and at some point we made an exchange. I gave you some pants.
What?
Do you remember
this?
that?
I don't remember this.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to hear about that.
I started getting heavy.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of like great pants that I think were waist 36,
Okay.
length
Yeah.
30 or 32.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to like, because they're good, like
Good pants.
really good quality. And I spent
Yeah.
quite a bit of cash on them.
Yeah.
And I thought, is there anyone within my group of people that I know that, and I believe that you took me up on the offer.
You know what? It's slowly coming back to me.
Yeah.
They were like almost dress pants, or they like a
some of
khaki?
them were, yeah. Some were
Yeah.
dressy. Some were, yeah.
It is coming back to me. It seems to me that I remember getting an influx of pants when I struggled the most as an actor, but couldn't remember where they came from.
I was the pants master.
You were the guy who brought me the pants. One time, it came to mind. One time, I had a friend of mine, Nick, who was getting married, and I was in the bridal party and was down in Ohio. And and he said to me just before he's about to go down the aisle, it's like half an hour out, he said, "Oh my God, I promised my wife to be Emily, that I would have new underwear on our wedding night, and I forgot. So my solution was just swap. We'll just swap our underwear because then you'll have new ones. She's never seen mine before, so he wore my underwear for his wedding night, so that Emily would think he bought new underwear.
Oh,
and I wore his. I didn't really have to wear his, but I chose to.
Is the secret been revealed in the time since that?
I believe it did finally get out there. I think it finally did get out there.
I think the story in your head sounds charming, but it's disgusting.
It is.
Well, you do what you got to do when you're in the bridal party for your buddy. You got to do that. You got to switch underwear. But honestly, this just dawned on me now. I didn't have to wear his.
I was going to say you could have gone commando.
I don't know why. I had other options.
Yeah.
Well, I did that.
Maybe you're healthier for it. It's like that good bacteria. Maybe,
I got
you got some of his good bacteria.
That's what it is. Yeah. He was from Flint, Michigan, so he had tough bacteria.
Yeah, I was really used to all the toxicity of Flint. Yes. And Kylee, so Kylee, I don't recall specifically when we met, but I'm almost 99% sure it was probably through Sandy here.
Yeah, so it would be
100%. And I also think you said, I don't know specifically. I think your word was specifically. Did I hear?
Specifically.
I heard specifically. All right. You appear to be drinking water while we're drinking beer, so I don't know what your choices are.
I'm drinking water. It's been a long day.
But yes, Kylee, sorry, back to you.
And then I would run into you now and again all over the place. But Kylee, you're in The Good Witch, a show which unfortunately I have never seen.
Well,
but I read up.
Great research, Josh.
Yeah,
yep.
You're Stephanie Borden is your character.
I am,
and she's, from what I could read, she's always like looking for the next man.
She is. She's found one though.
The pastor.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the last season, I found a man.
And that was okay. So but is he a pastor?
He is a pastor.
And is that okay in that area?
Well, we're going to see the scripts of season 6.
Did you watch Fleabag season 2?
No, I'm just halfway through season 1.
Oh, that's a very good show.
It is a very good show.
There's a priest in season 2.
Oh.
And that question sort of gets asked.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure I know the answer to it. Fortunately, in my relationship, it's on the Hallmark network. So
yes.
I think everyone knows the answer to that. It's really an awesome script when you get to kiss anyone.
Oh,
yeah.
And who's the guy who's playing? My dog is making scratching noises.
Just for anyone just wanting to know,
hearing,
this is your dog, Boise.
Yeah,
this dog is a pocket
beagle.
Pocket beagle.
Very cute dog, scratching at the carpet like it's going to dig into the ground and bury something. Desperately,
he likes to bury stuff. And he brought this something from the old gym equipment that's hanging around here.
Right, I took it from him. I thought it was a sleep mask.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Like a very rough sleep mask.
Yeah. This dog, anyway, is now exhausted. It's now lying down, taking a break.
I think he was making his nest.
He scratched himself out.
It didn't really work. So now who's the actor that's the
pastor? His name's Scott Cavallero, and he came to Good Witch last season.
Okay.
There were 2 actors who I was vying between.
Oh.
There was the bad boy and then the pastor.
Oh.
And it worked out that I ended up with the pastor.
The bad boy got killed in a motorcycle crash.
No one dies. No one dies on the Hallmark Channel. He's off somewhere else. I think he's sailing the world or...
Okay.
Yeah,
as bad boys do.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have in the season, Kylee, because I don't know the answer to this, but... Did they have the 2 guys and they were slowly writing the scripts and deciding as they went, or did they always know that the pastor was going to win that?
I think they were slowly writing the scripts. And then...
deciding as they went.
Yeah. Oh. And then...
In the moment.
Discussions were had and...
But they must have, when they mapped out the season, they must have sort of had an idea of the arc of...
I don't know.
You don't think?
Hard to say.
I don't know if there's mapping out of the season.
No, just go with the flow.
I think writing in television... is tough, as everyone knows. But I think it's very tough on the show. I don't think they know the ending of the season.
So now, if you look at Sandy, would he be more of is he a bad boy or is he a good boy?
Sandy is a very good boy.
Yeah.
However, when I met Sandy, he was the exact opposite of that.
A bad boy.
Leather jackets.
Leather jacket, greaser hair,
Greaser hair.
motorcycle. Yeah.
In fact, the summer
Had a switchblade.
The
Yeah, oh,
summer
yeah.
I met Sandy,
Multiple.
I called it the summer of Sandy because
I was having a great time.
The dog scratching.
he
I'm
was.
just trying.
Yeah.
Why,
No.
why was it the summer of Sandy?
Sandy was just really living it up that summer.
And you-
And that's the summer I met him.
So was that
Yeah.
kind of like you tamed Sandy?
I think so.
right.
I think it changed.
But maybe he
I
was
think it
ready.
changed
Maybe that
things.
was sort of the final hurrah.
That's right. I was sowing my wild oats, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was all over when
Sold
I
the
met Kylee.
motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. Dried my hair up.
Yes.
And just, no, when I met Kylie, I knew that she was the one. So I
Yeah.
just dumped all that stuff.
He knew I was the one, and yet it took 8 whole years for him to propose to me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But
7,
that's
but
not
that's
that
okay.
for our generation. I don't think that's that unusual. How long had you been living together?
So, about 7 years. Kylie moved
Okay.
in pretty quickly, and we dated 7 years. We got engaged. We've been married now 8 years. So we've kind of tipped the scales back to been married longer than we were together before.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
So this actor, who's the pastor, is he a Canadian actor, American actor?
He is. No, he's a Canadian actor. He lives here in Toronto with his wife, and
Handsome,
he's very handsome. He's very lovely.
soft lips.
He's definitely got soft
Oh,
lips.
have you had a makeout with him?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have. Yeah.
Oh.
He has soft lips. I tried it out first.
Yeah.
He's soft lips.
Sandy has to, with everyone that
Yep,
you're
that's the
going to
contract.
kiss,
I
Sandy
tried
has to go in
first.
first.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sort of a domineering where it's like
It is, but it's nice.
It's like, look, I'm the one she's with, so
Yeah.
this is what she's kissing normally.
Yeah. The alpha gorilla kind of thing. Like, I'm in charge. Let me kiss you first so you know where it's at.
So on the Good Witch, how many partners have you had?
Ooh. Well, you mean how many men have I kissed
Yeah,
on the show?
yeah.
A few, like 4, maybe.
4.
4.
Doesn't
That's
seem
not
like
that many.
much, no.
How many seasons? 5, 6 seasons?
Coming up
Normally
on
4
6
kisses.
seasons.
Coming up on 6 seasons, I think there were 4 guys.
And
Yeah.
what was the best one?
Yeah.
I
If
know.
you have
Yeah,
to rank
yeah.
them,
As you two make eye contact.
Sandy, I'm going to figure. Let's sweet.
they're just,
Sandy's got very soft lips too.
yeah, I have
He
very
does.
soft lips. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
I rank you first.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, when
Yeah.
I sometimes on TV kisses, you can kind of tell, well, they're not really that into it. But then sometimes there's one actor who leads with the tongue, where it's like before the
Oh.
lips even meet, the tongue is like, oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you had that experience?
I haven't.
No.
No, actually, I have once.
Oh.
And he will remain.
No, you don't have to name the
nameless,
person. No.
because we all know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like all in the acting community or in the Good Witch community?
No, he wasn't on Good
Okay.
Witch,
In just the general.
and most people know him
Ooh.
in the Toronto community.
Oh,
So,
no. Sandy knows too.
Yeah,
But-
this is hilarious.
I think it is. It's a really strange thing when you have to kiss someone on screen.
Yeah,
sure.
and you don't get rehearsal at it, and you just sort of have to trust each other, and you're making eye contact, and you're going in, and then all of a sudden you just really hope for the best.
Yeah.
And that was his
It was
best.
not the best.
Yeah, his best was a tongue.
Whoa. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sandy, have you had
Well, no, I've had that once on a high school play.
Oh, you mean
I had to kiss a girl.
Is this when you were playing the snake in the Jungle Book?
No, God, no. You don't. No. I mean, the tongue is everything when you're the snake in the Jungle Book. Ka.
It was a biblical
K-A-A.
play.
But no, it was a musical adaptation of The Match Girl. I played the sailor who was the romantic interest. The plot was all over, but
Man, I'm so sad I missed
I
that
do
one.
remember I had to kiss a girl, and I had never had any experience with this, so I thought, you just kiss them like you kiss for real.
Oh.
So I made out. like went for the tongue. And then but she did too. And then later on, someone said, that's not how you do it. And I was so embarrassed because I had no idea. I just thought that's how you do it. I
was going to say, you don't kiss me for real like that.
Oh my God, Kylie, I am so passionate when I kiss you. No, but it was very much like, I guess you just do this. And, like when you're in high school, everyone's waiting for the day in rehearsal when you kiss the girl and they're waiting and waiting. So oh my God, is he going to do it?
Was this a girl that you had known well before the play?
Not really that well. I mean, she was attractive and friends. And we almost dated after that, but her family was very strictly Italian, and there was no way.
Strictly Italian.
They were like, "You're not going to marry this guy. You're not going to be with this guy." So that went away quickly. But I remember that being very embarrassing. Also, in that show, I slammed my head right into a street sign. There was like a street set. Really hard one day. I almost knocked myself out in the show.
During the actual show.
Yeah. But we had songs like "People in Your Places." Yeah. That being a song, "People in Your Places."
That was a song in the show?
That
was a song before
in
the
show?
Like,
no, in the show.
Oh.
I also was part of a song that was, "You're never alone if you feel a part of love."
Well, that's true to this day.
Yeah. You're never alone. Yeah.
I think I have a poster of that with a kitten frolicking on it.
Anyway, the show was a hit, obviously, and ran for at least 4 shows.
Magical. I did a Fringe show maybe 10 years ago where I was this like older businessman, and what is he eating now? Just I can hear.
Oh no!
Your dog
is. Hang on.
Yeah, Kylie. What is that?
He's such a mischievous dog.
Is it eating a shoe?
It's a plastic something or other with a string
It looks like it was on a blind at some point. Like
yep.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, so no one's opening the blinds. He's finding lots of things to eat.
He is handsome, but he is a devil.
Yeah,
troubled. It's a troubled dog. Okay, so you're an elderly businessman.
Yeah, and I go home with this like college age girl in this play. It's a 2-hander at the Fringe.
Yeah,
and I know, like I know even in rehearsal that there's no like she's all nice enough, but I
no
sense
chemistry.
that there's a reluctance.
Okay,
like doesn't want to have. So the kisses were always just like didn't look real at all. It was just kind of like peck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my makeup.
That was your makeup.
I don't think I've had any other.
It can be awkward.
Makeups.
It can be awkward.
Yeah. So and you're starting to shoot season 6.
Yeah, Monday.
Mm-hmm. Now I guess they don't really want you telling any stories about anything
Like
this far in advance.
If I had a script, I would probably tell you, but I don't.
You don't even have a script yet?
Nope.
Are you good at memorizing?
Sure.
That's
my job.
Kylie's amazing at memorizing. Kylie's hyper smart. Hyper smart.
I think it comes from I have an opera degree, and I used to have to memorize 15-page German arias or Italian songs. So that was where my memory came from.
Yeah, and what Kylie does though, she memorizes it, knows it, nails it, goes home, runs a bath, continues running the lines she's already shot that day. So I'll be downstairs, obsesses over it. So I'll be downstairs some nights, and I'm like, "What is she running up there?" I'm like, "Kylie, what are you doing?" She's like, "Just running my lines from today." Yep. I'm like, "Oh, let it go, honey, please."
I do that after almost every audition.
Right.
On the way home, I'm like, this is much better.
Yeah, you overthink
because the tension's off, and you can, You're like, I should.
It's hard to let it go.
It is.
Sure, it is. Yeah.
But if you're shooting like day after day after day, you kind of have to just move on
for sure
to the next part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. If I had, I like having the small silent parts, the small like quiet parts. I want to be like the weird neighbor who comes over once in a while and says something and then leaves.
Yeah, that's a perfect part for you.
That's
me.
But that's a dream role for anyone.
Anyone, yeah. To be the quirky neighbor.
Yeah.
Maybe not a series regular. So you're not out there all the time, but when you come in, it's a special occasion.
Yeah. Get some choice lines.
I was I did a La Femme Nikita years and years ago.
Yeah.
I played was recurring character. Mm-hmm. I was teamed up with another actress. We were the torture twins, so we would basically come in and torture the villain of the week.
Wow, that's a good part.
Yeah. Well, another thing was she spoke. I never spoke. So I didn't have to memorize anything. I just had to look menacing.
Yeah.
And so
That sounds like a great part.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You go out there once in a while, and you even went to some conventions. That was like,
Wow, really?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, people like the
Torture
Twins. Yeah,
Torture
it's like
Twins
it
were
became a thing.
Yeah.
So there you go. And you've also done a series, Life with Boys.
Yeah, I've done
not an adult series, by the way.
No, not an adult series. I've had Life with Boys. It is I have a show that's on the air now. Bajillionaires. I played dads of kids. I guess that's how it works. I guess that's my hit.
Life with Boys. Were you you were a coach and a dad?
I was a coach. I coached a gym, but I also coached the wrestling team. And then in season 2, I got bumped up to vice principal.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big move. And then it was just too hot to handle, so they canceled the series. So, yeah.
Who played your crazy neighbor? Who played your crazy neighbor?
And my crazy neighbor, obsessed with me, was none other than Kylee Evans.
Oh, you were in the...
See, I am with you on the neighbor part.
And how did that work? In terms of, did you get cast at the same time? Or was it kind of like,
No. They added the character on.
And... was it just coincidence that
I auditioned and got the part?
Yeah,
it was before we were married, and
wow,
yeah, it was great.
That's cool.
Yeah, she would come over and she'd have these visions of us married, and so we had these still shots of us married on set.
Oh, really? That's
and when she showed them to her grandmother, she thought we'd already gotten married.
Oh,
she was certain that we'd already gotten married, not told anybody.
Poor
Did
nanny.
you break it to her, or you just kind of go with it?
No, we broke it to her, and then at our actual wedding, we had that wedding photo.
That photo.
Oh, that's
was
great. Yeah, because you're all made
photos.
up.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But Kylee was great as Heather, right? Heather?
Yeah,
Heather. She came on as Heather, the wacky neighbor, but she was so funny, and they loved her and had a bunch of episodes. She was only supposed to be in one, but they put her in a bunch.
That's the best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where they add episodes because you were so good in the one episode. Well, I saw a little bit. I was like,
I guess the worst case scenario there is they don't add episodes,
or they subtract episodes.
they fire you, and you're never seen. I guess that is the worst.
Just try and edit the episodes around your scenes so that you're gone.
I just want to clarify what the worst case scenario is.
I'm going to play this.
The thing you use to send text, it works for actual mouth talking.
Josh stuff, more Josh stuff.
Get in on the conversation. Punch 647-6YO-JOSH to be heard. Talk that rocks. Josh Holiday Live.
That's basically just the phone number said by a guy with a really nice voice and some around it.
Who is that guy?
Some U.S. the guy who lives in Florida.
Yeah, you just send him your stuff and he does that.
I write some stuff and send it off, and he made it sound nice.
He's amazing.
He's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the basic idea here is you can call and chat with Sandy and or Kylee at 647-696-5674. And if you're listening live, you can also chat away as well. And there's a live chat on at Spreaker.com. If you go to Josh Holiday Live, no one's there. I'm going to type hi there right now.
Okay. You are working a lot of different things here at one time. I have to commend you. It's
like Star Trek, but lower budget. It's like lights and buttons.
I would say that there's more budget on this table than an episode of the original Star Trek.
That could be true.
Maybe. This board is beautiful. Look at these colors on this thing.
I like this. I know, and I can change the colors for these ones.
Gorgeous.
To match whatever's on them.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
This one. Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's nice. Listen, it would be an absolute pleasure if somebody called in, wanted to talk to us, but we can just plow on through.
Would we be the only guests ever that had nobody call in?
No, it's really like the show is in its early days,
infancy.
Yes,
in its infancy. Yeah.
Generally, even in regular radio, you kind of have to roil things up and stir the calls.
Yeah,
like even talk radio, and so sometimes people may call, may not. That's not a real call.
Oh.
That's just like it's like if you're
How come?
If you have to go pee and you hear a waterfall, it helps. So the phone is ringing.
Oh, I see you.
If you're hearing that, yeah.
You're thinking, I got to make a phone call
You
now.
got so excited.
I really did. I was like, wow.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Hi, is this Sandy?
No, that's you on a mic.
Oh, you figured me.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm right
You're
in front of
sitting
you.
no less than 3 feet from me, and you pretended to be on a phone call.
The effort, though. Come on, I'm trying to.
You did try.
Nice.
You did try. You definitely tried. Yeah.
Now we should mention. Well, first I wanted to ask about bazillionaires.
Bajillionaires. Yeah, bajillionaires.
I was looking at it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, look at all these fun people that are on it.
It was a great cast. Kids are great. Allie Price was my wife. We had a lot of great guest stars on the show as well. It's on the Family Channel in Canada, and you're supposed to be on NBC Universal in America, but hilariously, it just felt like. Right at the end, it was almost like they had a regime change in the States, and they just said, like, on the last day, like, it's been great.
Oh no! So is that is it come to the end, or is it?
Almost certainly, because they almost knew. They basically said on the last day of post production, well, we're out of the sitcom game. Like, it was just like, so I don't even know where it goes from there. But hey, listen, it was a ton of fun to do it. I wasn't as prominent in the show as Life with Boys. The parents certainly took a backseat. And there we go, Mike getting closer. But it was super fun to do. Derek Harvey was a showrunner, fantastic guy. He actually did a lot of work early on with Tom Green when Tom Green was first starting in Ottawa, and then worked on his other shows.
I used to the Rogers cable days.
Oh yeah, that was his.
I would watch
beginnings
so much.
with
I
him.
love that stuff.
And followed Tom through to LA and all those years. But Derek was part of that, so he was part of that. And same here. I was a huge fan of Tom Green as well, so it was kind of fun to be connected to that. But yeah, great writing staff. Everyone was fantastic. There was just nothing. There was nothing that was second rate about it. It just wasn't the right time, I think, for that kind of show, because a lot of these channels, especially kids shows, they go, we're into reality TV. Now we're into sitcoms. Now we're into game shows. They change their mind so often that you just may not be in the right cycle. Yeah. So, but a really fun show to do.
Oh, what is he tearing
I
up
feel
now?
like there's something going. Okay,
Dog is
I got
tearing
it.
up.
I'm on it.
I think it's historical documents he's eating now. Get out of there, boy.
What are you doing?
I mean, this dog.
He's eating everything.
Can you swear on this show?
Yes.
Your dog started off cute. Now it just seems like a bit of a shithead.
He is.
To be honest with you.
He's being really mischievous, trying to get attention here.
Yeah, he really is.
Maybe put them up on the counter there.
Hey,
Sorry.
Boise, come over here.
Settle down.
I mean, every show we go on has a dog chewing things. It just seems we can't get.
I need to buy your dog dog toys.
He has lots upstairs, but usually he would go up there and hang out with people upstairs, but. And he was scared to come down here for a while because there was one of those yoga balls.
Yeah.
And I was kind of pushing him around, and he got spooked, so he would only come to the doorway.
Where's that yoga ball now?
It's in like a cupboard down there. We should bring it back.
We should definitely be scaring this dog with a yoga ball. Why don't you?
Settle down.
Is this a lap dog at all? If it go on my lap, or to go bananas?
He'll go on your lap.
Oh,
he
yeah?
loves cuddles.
That's a good idea. Let me see how.
You can try. No.
He's like, no way.
He's
There's
like,
so many fun things around here to
look
tear
at me
up.
now.
Why
Hi,
would I
Boise.
go onto your lap?
This dog is.
He hasn't heard me make growling before.
Oh, so you're scaring the dog
I'm
I'm trying to put the dog in my lap.
He's just curious.
You're scaring the dog.
He's a big suck. He my sister was in town last week, and she has 8 and 9-year-old sons, and the dog loved hanging out with them. He would go and look for them, and then I didn't take the dog home. I left him here, and he slept with the kids. And then the day after they left, he went upstairs to the 3rd floor to try and find the boys. But they went home. Yeah,
so sad.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
my sister said she told one of her sons that Boise went looking for him, and then the son cried. So and then I would drop them off at the airport, and Boise was up at the window in the back seat, and the boys were saying bye, and it was like,
oh my goodness,
so cute.
It's a very cute dog.
Now he's up on a lap. He's more likely
on my
to
lap,
bite.
doing okay, having a good time.
Sweet.
Not chewing everything randomly in this room.
He won't make eye contact with me.
It's like, I don't know.
He's like, you've taken everything away from me. I refuse to make eye contact.
You're the
with
bad
you.
cop. Sandy's the good cop.
This is a boy dog.
Yeah, he is a boy dog.
See, boys don't they get shy around Kylee.
Yeah,
Boys don't make eye contact with Kylee. They're very shy.
Right.
Yeah. Or they read a rider.
She's intimidated. Yeah,
They read a rider that said,
not make eye contact.
Do not make contact with Kylee Evans ever.
Number one on my rider.
Yeah. Well, it's important. So you two have worked together more than once. You're now the stars of Just Like Mom and Dad.
Yes.
Which it's here on what channel? Is it on Family Channel here?
So we're
or in the
on
States?
Yes TV.
Yes TV.
And CTV also picked us up.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. When do they run it on CTV?
On Saturday mornings.
Saturday mornings on CTV. Yes TV seems to air it a lot all over the place. And then we're on BYU in the States.
What is it called?
BYU, Brigham Young.
Brigham Young.
Yep.
So it's a little bit religious.
Well, you know what? It is that's a Mormon backed station, but they've gotten into more just straight up family oriented stuff. There's nothing about our show that's directly in any way that way, but well, Just Like Mom was a beloved property here in Canada, of course.
Fergie
forever.
Oliver,
yeah,
the original host,
and so they. But actually, that's actually not true.
Oh, he was not.
I discovered that recently.
Okay.
Someone recently told me.
What's the scoop?
There was another guy that hosted it. I can't remember his name, but I was told
This
recently.
is not
yep,
true.
It's absolutely true. There was a host before Ferg Oliver and Catherine, right? His wife is Catherine.
Yes.
Yeah. So they before they were hosting, there was another host. That is absolutely. You can look it up. Kylee currently looking it up on her phone.
Well,
This is
come on.
We'll know the name shortly.
Someone came at me with this this trivia.
Stephen Young?
Yeah.
Stephen Young.
Am I right about that?
Well, there was another host. Anyway, hugely popular. Obviously, hundreds of episodes here in Canada. And
did you watch that as a child?
Oh yeah,
yeah, me too.
I loved it as a kid.
But I always was scheming. I was like, these kids, like, don't you know? Make a deal with your mom. I'm going to be the kid with all the ketchup, and then
Totally, yeah.
load up the ketchup on.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's a twist tie now. He's eating.
So what they did this season or not this season, but in this version of the show to stop that was each kid gets different ingredients.
Okay.
You get the basic ingredients each the same.
Yeah.
Then all the extra stuff like a ketchup and a chocolate chip cookie, whatever it is. That is different. So one kid might have pickles, one kid might have jalapeno.
Okay.
The parents don't know what the ingredients were, so they can't cheat. But they certainly did. And like a dad would be in the audience going, ketchup, ketchup, to the kid, like giving signals. They also told us that on the original show, they would have all the crowd there, and they would go to the crowd and go, okay, that kid, that kid, and that kid. That's how they'd cast it.
Oh, really?
So that's why when you watch some of the older
But
shows,
not you.
Yeah, not that kid.
Yeah,
Definitely
right.
not that kid. When you watch some of the original shows, kids just completely clam up because they didn't come there to be on TV. They came to watch a show, and now they're on TV. They weren't used to it.
Yeah.
So we have an audition process for
Yeah,
the
you
new
want
show.
precocious kids. You don't want.
Well, you want a kid who says
wallflowers.
something.
Yeah.
The worst thing, as you know, as an improviser, is when someone says nothing.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad answer, that's
my
good TV.
main. That's my main. Besides no ending, I just am quiet. Those are my two improv.
Absolute
That was your
silence.
MO?
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
like when you're improvising and someone insists on playing like a dog who doesn't speak. And you're like,
right.
well, this is great. It's
We
the
know a
worst.
few
I
of
just
those
scratch
people.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one laugh and then you're just dead.
Yeah.
But that's how they used to do it, and they now are much more casting, and of course it's moms and dads. There's rumors
Oh, what?
that if we come back for this third season, that they're going to have a special episode where it's going to be grandparents, parents.
Okay,
and
because
kids.
I for a second I thought you were going to say maybe it was going to be like just like dad and dad, or just like mom and her
Yep.
occasional boyfriend Rick.
See, I would like that one. Just like mom and her occasional boyfriend. What do you think of that, Kylie? What do you think the questions might be like?
What kind of beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think that would be a really great thing because that is real families.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is real situations, and that is the way the world works today.
When Rick sleeps over,
Yeah.
what excuse does your mom make for Rick to sleep in the same room?
And did you? No, I can't
What?
go there.
What night of the week is Rick most likely to sleep over?
What time does Rick usually show up to sleep over? 10 p.m., midnight?
No, it's not early.
Does Rick ever say that he and your mom were just wrestling?
What thing does Rick do that you like more than your dad did? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much more fun is Rick than your birth father?
I feel really bad for Rick. Like the guy's named Rick out there. Like
Rick's a tough one.
He's the
Rick is tough.
quintessential.
Yeah.
Like,
The mom's occasional boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a Rick.
Yeah.
Rick's feels like a very Canadian name too, though.
Rick. They said that was it Doug Gord?
Doug and Gord are really,
big Canadian names.
Really?
Yeah, Gord especially.
But I sometimes I'll play like an intramural hockey league in the summer, and
bragging.
I was yeah, I'm the best. But I was a GM for one of these, so we draft teams.
Oh wow!
And sometimes
that's fun.
A lot of times it's players from the league that are playing during the year, but occasionally there's new players. And there was one. His name was Rick, and so that was like a guy named Rick, probably a decent hockey player. His email address was at Canadian Tire. Guy named Rick who works at Canadian Tire.
Perfect.
He can't be a bad hockey player. That's
draft that guy early.
And he did. He ended up being like a steal.
He was.
Yeah, just
draft early.
No one knew. And a really nice guy as well. And he's not in that situation where he's dating some kid's mom.
No.
And showing up late at night.
Well,
you don't know.
Well, that's true.
Right. I mean,
I haven't really delved that deep.
You just drafted him.
That's right.
You
don't know his backstory.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
So what's the status? Because I think it was it last summer where you were in CBC building and I came and popped up upstairs? Or
yes.
Yeah.
Is just like Mom and Dad happening again?
We're waiting, and if it does, it won't happen again until October, November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's intense because we shoot 4 episodes a day, and we shoot.
How many total did you get in that one run?
How many total did we get in that one room? Is that what you said?
The one run, yeah.
One run.
24 episodes in 6 days.
26. We're at about we've done 2 seasons, and I think we're about 50 episodes in, right?
Okay.
I think we got 22 and a Christmas special.
Okay.
And this year they'd like to do 24.
Okay. I think I was there near the Christmas special because there's all kinds of Christmas stuff. In the big
the 1 hour Christmas
area.
special. It took about 9 hours to shoot.
No, it took about 12 hours.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was just oh my god, it was such a challenge.
Sandy got to dress as Santa.
Yeah, Sandy
that just
Claus.
made my day. So
Sandy Claus, which I believe Lisa Brooke, as a writer,
Lisa Brooke is awesome.
Decided.
I don't know why she hasn't called this show. I'm going to call her out right now.
But she decided probably on Sandy Claus. I've noticed how much my mic is. I'm always so loud.
Doesn't
and you've
matter.
been pursuing me around the room with this microphone.
I keep pushing the mic towards
You're like, what number am I on this board?
You're number 2.
Okay, I'm going to keep on number 2. I'm number 2.
I'll turn up. You can see your level.
Okay, number 2. Only number 2, guys. This is solo number 2. Okay, I'll keep that pumping. Kylie,
you get you are a very loud talker.
Yes.
But you keep getting further and further away from the mic.
Yeah, because I'm used to being so loud.
You're probably used to a live mic where it's not.
I'm so loud all the time. And I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, it's nice to get notes from my wife, though. She's right here to say, here's the deal. I know you laid it out there,
You know,
Kylie.
when you say...
She's stroking my leg as she says this
when you're
calming me down.
When you take
this is how you calm a horse down.
When you take a photograph of your mom, and your mom's face just goes back as far as it can from the camera because you say she feels like the camera's sucking her soul out.
My mom is afraid of a camera.
Oh.
Yeah,
was she from like one of those tribes where they think the picture steals your soul?
So my grandmother was horrible on. She had like that tense up, everything tensed up. My grandfather's a politician, and my grandmother had to be in a lot of photos. And just bad. And then my mom topped it. Like my grandmother was bad in photos. My mom, significantly worse.
And you'd think they would have learned to be in photographs, but they haven't. And Sandy, the way you're treating the microphone is the way your mom treats the camera.
She's beautiful. My mom is a beautiful woman, charismatic, active. Put her on the camera, terrified. Just what's happening. And I by the way, just got a text from my brother
Yeah.
who says, I think I'm going to call in.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we'll see.
Feel free to call in.
We'll see if we get my brother on.
All right.
Oh no.
He's got stories, I'm sure.
Well,
is he still in Winnipeg?
He's in Chile.
What?
He married a Chilean woman, and they just had their first kid. And he's just back in Ontario now with the first time my mother, who we just spoke about very highly of my mother.
Yes.
And meeting her grandson.
Oh. Okay. No.
Yeah.
Is he? But he's still going to go back to Chile, and he's going.
Yes.
He lives there permanently.
Yes. He's going to go back. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, you can't argue with the client. And have you been down there to visit?
No, we thought about doing that this Christmas, and it's still on the table, I think. But those flights are expensive.
Yeah. Well, is it really to Chile? Because I've gone to Costa Rica, and I can find pretty cheap flights.
Yeah, no, it
It
keeps getting.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse and worse and
But
worse.
I guess at
each
Christmas
time we
too,
check in.
it's a tough time because it's in season.
Sure.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to go to Chile. And so, I know. Maybe that's
Christmas.
true.
People do. No,
A
it's
I guess that's true.
Chilean
I don't know.
Christmas.
I don't know. Maybe they go to Easter Island. I don't know what people do at Christmas.
Easter Island. Is that? I don't think.
Yeah, that's
Easter
Chilean.
Is that Chile?
Yeah,
it's like a short
where's
flight.
Machu Picchu is
It's Peru.
Peru. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always this one.
That's okay. Galapagos or Ecuador, I believe.
Yeah.
Ecuador is
I would like to go there.
Yeah, me too. It's, again, expensive. Those trips are expensive.
Yeah.
Very
Like
expensive.
Easter Island's like an 8-hour flight or something crazy like that
You mean from Chile?
Yeah.
From Chile.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
no,
not close.
No, not 8 hours.
If my brother calls in, we're
We'll
going to
ask
find
him
out.
on-
Okay.
That's our first question.
Hang on.
Yeah.
What's this here?
Yeah.
Where is Scott when you need him?
Well, he may be here.
He may be here.
Yeah.
I think he's in the screening thing, but I think I can just pick him up. It's Scott. Scott Jobin-Bevans from
Yeah.
Santiago, Chile, calling to harass his brother Sandy.
Well, that'd be perfect.
There he is.
There he is.
Hello.
Hey, there you go.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Scott, it's good to have you here.
What's going on?
How are you?
Yeah, great.
Are you Sandy's
I'm
older
good, thank
brother
you
or
very
younger
much.
brother? So, are you Sandy's
Well,
older or younger?
I look younger.
No.
I'm the middle. I'm older, but I look younger. Yeah.
He's the middle brother. I'm the youngest. He's the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
Sandy's the baby.
Yes.
Sandy's the baby.
I'll
Still is
confirm
the
that.
baby. Yeah,
I'll confirm
for
that.
sure.
And
So, Josh, I just want you to engage with my brother for a minute.
Yeah.
I want to see how this goes. Here we go.
so
Okay.
what's the craziest thing you've experienced Sandy do? Any good Sandy
Wow.
stories of either growing up or when he was a bad boy?
I think he used to drink vodka and Orange Crush when he was like quite young, below the age of drinking. I remember something like that. I don't know
Sandy.
if that was Sandy.
Oh no.
That
Oh,
sounds
no.
that sounds
kind of a
about
weird
right. Do you know what I find? What's funny is that sounds about right. It seems to be in our pedigree because I remember when Scott and I were growing up, our father used to say that Orange Crush was like his dream drink when he was working. Remember that, Scott? He was always say, when I was out working, he was in geology. I was working in the bush and it was so hot, and some days I'd just say, I need an Orange Crush. So he would just leave the woods, paddle forever, and then go into the store and he'd say, I got two right away because I drank one in the store and one on my way out. That was like, and so maybe that Orange Crush is in my blood.
I guess if it's hot out, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I one time in
So I
university.
don't know if that's crazy, but that's all I got. So
That's all you got, really? Of a lifetime of knowing this gentleman and Orange Crush and vodka is the story?
Because I'll tell you, Scott, Sandy
well, I
tells many more crazy stories about you
That's true.
than that.
Oh.
So
True.
Okay, well, here's one that was both of us together. I think I was driving a Volkswagen van, Westphalia, and I'm taking Sandy to a soccer game. I'm 16, 17. He's going to be 11 years old, and I decided to take the cat with us in the van, and the cat gets away, goes friggin' mental, and jumps up on the windscreen area, and I'm trying to catch the cat, forgetting I'm driving. It's stick shift. And I veer off the road into a telephone pole and wipe out the upper light unit. Yeah, it was good. And I fled the scene because I had to make sure I got him.
We got sound effects here.
Coloring the story.
Yeah, I had to get him to his soccer practice, and he did hit his head, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, I went through basically
I
the windshield.
I went to. Yeah, well, he bumped it. You didn't break it, I don't think. Actually, maybe you did crack it. But anyway. At the end of the day, he got to soccer. I got home. The cops showed up. I got charged with leaving the scene or whatever. And I was, young, so they sort of said that, and then they said it's okay.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I had to pay though for the light standard. So.
I remember that, and I remember
That's another.
That's true. And you told me you better check on the cat, so I unbuckled and went back, and you slammed into that telephone pole. And two things I remember about that is you said, well, a few things you said. We were driving. You said, "Don't tell Mom about this. I can get this window fixed." And I was totally concussed. And I got to soccer practice, and it was just dark. And my coach is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think so." And he's like, "I don't think you're okay." Kind of wobbling around, and I don't know if you remember, you'd smashed the windshield, you'd gone into a telephone pole. I seem to remember slamming into that, through that window and telephone pole. But anyway, Danny Carrossel, remember Danny Carrossel rode by on his bike and said, "Hey, your windshield's broken." That was all he gave us, and he kept on riding. Just the perfect moment. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That is a true story.
Yeah. It's pretty traumatic.
Very traumatic. Yeah.
Do we want another one? Because I only have one more that I can probably use on.
I think if you got him, let's do it. Time. Yeah.
All right. So when we were in our mid teens, we used to play war games using BB guns.
Oh, yeah.
Because paint pellet games had just come out, but paint pellets were kind of wimpy. You got hit with a paint pellet, you got splashed with paint, and it kind of stung. But you get hit with a pellet, a good high powered pellet. And you remember that. So you're out in the woods running around on teams. Yeah. And a lot of these guys were in the militia, and Sandy, you were in cadets or whatever.
Army cadets. Yeah.
And so he wanted to play, and he was like, I don't know what, you're probably about 11 or 10 years old again. And you're like, I want to play with you guys. So we're like, okay, fine, man. So let's go get all our camo gear on, get all painted up, get our BB guns all loaded up, break up into teams and start, going around the woods, hiding and shooting at each other. And I can't remember which guy it was, but he pegged Sandy right in the eye below the eye socket.
Mike Gopsel. Hold on, Mike Gopsel would be the guy who did. Oh, absolutely, it was him.
We don't say names here.
Oh, is that right? Over there you don't. We say them here. Yeah. When a guy shoots you in the eye, you say his name a bunch. That's true.
So Sandy had these big, thick glasses on at the time, but it didn't hit the glass. It bounced off. It actually didn't it bounce off your eye socket bone and back into the glass?
Something like that. Yeah, something horrible like that. Yeah. And then we
well, I remember we all laughed about it, but then we got home, and then of course the question.
Maybe we didn't all laugh about it. Maybe everyone but the one guy wasn't laughing that much. I remember this part.
It's pretty. Yeah.
I want to pick this up because I remember we got back, and the guys from the militia, they knew what to do. I've been shot in the eye. They said, "Look, we're going to take a sock. We're going to wrap it around his head so he can't look at anything. So because he has glass in his eye from the glasses, he can't scratch his eye." So they wrapped the sock around my head. They led me out of the woods, blindfolded, basically, put me in the car, took me home, and said, because Scott, my brother here, said, "Look, we got to take you to the hospital. But Mom is a nurse and works at the hospital, so we got to get you changed out of your camo and get you there and say that a twig hit your glasses." And do you remember this, Scott? And so we had to go, and we got there, and we were like, "Yeah, what happened?" "Oh, a twig hit me in the eye and smashed my glasses into my face." They didn't believe it for a second. But Scott was so afraid he's going to get in shit for taking me to play some, pellet guns in the eye kind of games. Yeah. Anyway, that's how that all went down. When they had to put dye in my eye and pick the glass out of my eye and stitch up my eyelash or eyelid, I guess.
So you could have been one of those handsome guys with an eye patch that you see once in a while.
Yeah, it could have been very close.
All those handsome men with eye patches. Yeah.
Well, I guess
they're everywhere.
You know what? I think in like movies and television, it's always handsome men with eye patches, but the reality is it's usually
not great.
Usually, unsavory characters, to put it mildly.
Yeah. So now my brother is living in Chile.
On the lam. He's on the lam in Chile.
Yeah.
Avoiding the law and taxes. Where did you meet this Chilean lady? Scott?
In Chile, yeah.
So wait,
what a great place to meet.
Were you on vacation though? What was going on? How does this happen?
I was a friend of mine from Canada that's lived there for many years, and so he had some friends who had a place on the coast, condominium or whatever, and so we loaded up the van and went out on the coast for a bit of a weekend. And there's not too many places to eat in this particular little village, so we went in there to have a late lunch, and one of the girls with us knew my wife Fran, when she walked in the restaurant, there was Fran with her parents, and so she introduced me, and then she came by later to the party that night, and the rest is history. So,
and at that time, how was your Spanish at that time? Were you fluent?
No, I no, not at all. I didn't know what was going on, really. Well, I knew eventually what was going on from experience, but it wasn't anything to do with language.
Quote, body language.
So.
Yeah. I like that he eventually knew what was going on. Yeah.
It's like, I guess if this is going to happen, I better learn Spanish.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is that
it worked out well.
You have a kid now. You got a kid.
Yes, and we have a 3-month-old. Just turned 3 months old yesterday. So
yeah. Well, I know
2 days ago. So.
I don't know if Sandy or Kylee told you this, but part of the reason they came on the podcast is they wanted a friendly venue to announce. They have a big announcement as well.
Yeah.
Don't you, Sandy?
Yes, that we have a nephew.
Yeah, 3 months old.
Brand new nephew.
Wow.
Yes, Christian.
Do
William.
I know him?
Yeah, he's yours. Actually, he's your son. Actually, that was our big announcement.
That was the announcement. I'm teasing. All right. Well, Scott, go and tend to your family and your baby.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in, Scott. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
Scott.
Yeah, I hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
I noticed.
I'm teasing, but you must get that question. Like, I don't know if it's your parents ask that a lot because you're hosting a show that's all about parents and kids.
Yeah.
And Sandy, you've been in like kids television for a long time, and Kylee is
Kylee
well.
too, actually. Yeah.
Do people harass you
about having children?
Yeah.
That's a typical thing. I think that has happened for every married couple probably, but they all, when are you having children? And our favorite is Kylee. This is the question, and Kylee will answer this as our road answer, but it's, hey, Kylee, why don't you have a kid?
Why do you have one?
That's generally our comeback.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, no, the big question is, don't you ever regret not having children? And my comeback usually is, do you ever regret having them?
Yeah.
And
you get into some good discussions from that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, people choose or they don't choose. People have or they don't have. And there's so many reasons. But we do get asked.
Do you have a cat?
Every day. We have
no pets.
No pets.
No pets.
No.
And is that for just because you're busy, or
Kylee would like to get a dog, and that's fine. So we travel a lot, and we do pick up and go a lot. We had a Finnish neighbor who just moved from our street. She was a Finnish neighbor, 70s, 80s maybe, and she was very honest. So she'd go by our yard all the time and just pick out the things she wanted to criticize about our house. And we loved her, though, because we were just brutally honest. So interesting. And one day she said, we were walking by her house, and she said, "What are you out with the children?" "No, we don't have any children." "Well, how do you walk the dog?" "No, we don't have any pets." "No children, no pets." "Oh, so lazy."
Lazy.
Yeah, she just pegged as lazy.
That's also like my, I see a traditional Chinese medical practitioner, and she's so funny. For years and years she was trying to get me to have kids, and I would go like for acupuncture and everything to like try and conceive. And she finally one day she said, "I think it's your head. I think you're not in it." And I was like, "Cindy, I guarantee you it's not that." She goes, "I don't know. You so selfish. You had your life. You had your time, and now you're being selfish." And I was like, "Cindy, that's not it. That's not it." But I don't know. It seems a bit selfish sometimes when we have no commitment to
I suppose
anybody
so, but
us.
you shouldn't be guilted into
But you
that
look at the
stuff.
other way. It's maybe selfish to bring a child. You can argue both ways. It's selfish.
Yeah.
Bring a child into the world when it's already too many kids anyway.
Or just because you feel pressured to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the right
Well,
reason.
yeah, peer pressure. So I think you probably should then, just so people won't keep talking about it.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
I'm glad we can resolve this issue.
You put the kid in a kennel. Is that how you do it when you go away?
Yeah,
put a kid in the
actually,
kennel?
if you look over there, I'll lend you that one.
That cage would be great.
Well, that one's sort of more of like you can fence him around so he can crawl around more freely.
Oh, okay.
This one here is more, you put him in there at night, and
The dog, Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at children doing it.
No.
Okay.
So, I know more about you than I do Kylee. What's your family situation? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
In a tiny town called Stellarton. And I was born and raised there. I went to high school, graduated from Stellarton High School, and then went to Western to study music after that. But yeah, I come from a small family, really. My parents were divorced, so it was just my mom and I.
So you were not a single child, a only child?
No, I have a sister.
Oh, you have a sister, okay.
But she went off to university, so for the longest time it was just my mom and I.
Okay.
And then I went off to school, and that was it, really. And, we go home every once in a while, but yeah.
Where's in relation to, say, like Halifax? Where is this?
So it's about an hour and a half northeast of Halifax, like on the way to Cape Breton.
Okay, on the water?
Yeah, it's the closest water we would have would be Melmerby Beach, or the Northumberland Strait, I guess. Like
you're getting up towards where you take the ferry to the PEI.
To ferry to PEI, yeah.
Okay.
Or the island, as they call it in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
We're going to the island.
On the island.
That's PEI.
Yeah.
It's the island. There's no other islands around there.
That's what they call it.
So, what is your sister in just? Is she a regular person?
She is
we like to call
civilian.
Yeah,
she's a very regular person, and she actually lives back home in Stellarton.
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah. So, and I have two nephews who are like the lights of my life.
Yeah.
No offense, Sandy, but they are like pretty spectacular human beings, and they're 17 and 19, and they go to school in America.
Oh, wow.
They're both on golf scholarships.
Really?
They went to prep school in America, and their names are Evan and Ben. And Evan is now in his first year of college, and Ben is still doing school.
Okay.
Yeah. And, they're big golfers. And
well, that's great. Yeah, if you get a scholarship just for
Yeah.
golfing, that's great.
Exactly, right?
Just for golfing.
Just for golfing.
I like that you just
really,
belittled
but I
it.
mean-
just for doing that.
I'm just saying, like, there's other students who like have to, really, really put the nose to the grindstone up all night. Whereas a lot of time, there is pressure in golf, but it is for a lot of people, it's a leisure activity, and I think it's any sport you would say. Well, you get to do something you love, and
I suppose that's true. I mean, I think there's other things that you could go to school for that could be considered less challenging, perhaps, than golf. I think that for they both went to like this prep school that their parents had to put a lot of the money that had saved up their teachers, so there was not a lot of money in the bank. So we all had kind of band together to put there's a scholarship, but there's still a certain amount of money you have to pay as well. So there was definitely some work to put them over the top to afford it. And I would say that there were a lot of kids that go to prep school whose parents really have to work hard to pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you build a library, your kid can go to that school.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, recently, that's a Hallmark.
Yeah, Lori Loughlin.
You were
part of that.
Now you were just down in Los Angeles for the Hallmark upfronts.
Yeah.
Was that kind of a unspoken kind of like?
It was
a shadow of the room.
It sort of was an unspoken thing. There was a bit of a thing went out ahead of time, just saying,
deflect on that.
If anybody asks you something you're not comfortable answering, you don't need to answer it.
Yeah.
And I think there was the tone of the night was it was very apparent that people were just floating up here and everything was here and everything was really great, and nobody really sort of wanted to settle into anything just in case.
I think it was handled quite well.
I do too,
actually, because it just wasn't it was expected to be somewhat of an elephant in the room when he got there, and it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think time has passed. If
Time has
it was
passed.
like had freshly happened, there'd probably be a lot more
Definitely.
questions. But it's kind of
And I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine them feeling any responsibility for her or her actions.
Oh my goodness, they have no responsibility for that.
Yeah, it's just something that happened to someone who happens to be working for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And does Hallmark shoot a lot of stuff in Sudbury? Is that, I feel like that's kind of a hub for Chris. I think a lot of Christmas movies get shot.
Might be right. Don't they done stuff in Barrie?
Okay.
North Bay at all, Kylee? Because North Bay is a hot ticket.
North
North
Bay is
Bay
big
is
now, yeah.
huge, and then again, like Ottawa and that area. I don't know, but
Winnipeg. Winnipeg's a big
Winnipeg's
Hallmark.
Winnipeg's
too.
huge,
Big
yeah.
Hallmark,
Wherever
yeah.
the tax breaks are.
Yeah.
Truthfully, yeah. Why not?
I think that's like that for anyone now.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
think-
definitely.
I think there were like 4 different productions shooting in North Bay at one time.
Okay.
This summer.
Hamilton's, I think, pretty good too for some.
Well,
yeah, we
that's your
shoot Good
exteriors,
Witch
right, Kylee?
in Hamilton.
Oh, is it
So
Hamilton?
we shoot in studio on Kipling, but we
Yeah.
our outdoor any on location stuff is Hamilton Dundas.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Now we talked about the show a while ago. Seems like days, but are you on the show? Because I've read about the show, but I haven't really.
We know you have not watched. The
Are
show.
you a witch? On the show, you're not
She's
a witch.
not a witch,
Oh, okay.
Josh.
I'm not.
Okay,
There is one witch, the
Okay.
Good Witch, played by Catherine Bell.
and she's good.
Yeah,
She does good things.
She does great things, and I mean, witch is it's a very loose term. She's,
Yeah.
she is basic ESP-ish.
Okay.
And she heals with teas
And crystals.
and
Okay.
things. Yeah. And then that's really it.
So her skin is not green.
No.
She has pretty good skin for a witch.
Yeah, and her daughter Grace also had tendencies like following after her mom, but sadly she's not back on the show this season.
Oh.
That was the big announcement.
Oh, I think I saw it earlier this week or something. There was some.
Yeah. So Bailey Madison is not coming back to the show.
Was that a thing where she chose and now they have to write her out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe she's got something bigger on the go.
Yeah. She's like a sensational human being.
Okay.
Like pretty incredible woman.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine that she doesn't have all the
Stuff
best
lined
happening.
up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And is there ever on the show, does a bad witch ever show up? Kind of some not so good witch?
The only bad sort of person on the show is a cousin of the Good Witch. Her name's Abigail. She's played by Sarah Power, and she is just mean. You know, she's mean spirited.
Yeah. Like Nellie from Little House on the Prairie.
That's right, yeah.
That's my
Always getting into mischief.
That's my that's my reference
That's your
point
reference
for.
point.
That's great. I mean, I think a lot of the
Bad
younger listeners right now are like, "Oh yeah,
Pretty
Nellie from-
relevant,
Yeah,
pretty
that's perfect.
relevant
Yeah.
reference. Yeah. So yeah, and her and I have a love-hate relationship on the show, and so that's always fun. And so I'm really curious to see this season. Like, will they bring somebody bad in? Like, will there be like an evil, like looming spirit come into the show?
Maybe a warlock, Sandy.
A warlock. That'd be perfect for me. That's kind of my hit. I played dads a lot and warlocks. Yeah. Those are kind of my 2 main ones.
Dads and warlocks.
Dads and warlocks. Yeah, that's
You've
it.
been typecast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'm known for my amazing radio segues.
Yes.
Speaking of monsters, what's the deal with hilarious House of
Frightenstein.
Frightenstein.
Josh.
That's what I'm
Josh,
for.
you're
segue
also known for your research.
right.
Having not watched Good Witch or gotten down the word Frightenstein. We are in development on bringing back Hilarious House of Frightenstein. We did a lot of work to get it to the point where we bought the rights to do that, and now we are in the process of we've got most of the process done. Essentially, there's a lot of interest in doing it, but we're just trying to drum up the funding to money to do it. Just because listen, you could shoot 130 episodes in Hamilton in the 1970s, in the early 1970s for very cheap.
Yeah,
and
over
very
like
quickly.
like a couple of months.
Yeah, forget about the union stuff. Just get it done.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not the same now, obviously. And so to do it right and have the quality we want and all the elements that we want, we have to have the funding in place. But I'm very fortunate. Friends of mine, Kenny Coopers and Michelle Melanson Coopers, as she goes by.
Sure.
And myself, they started a fresh production company called Headspinner, and we went in together on this thing to make this happen. So very excited to be in production with them. Kenny and I are writing all these scripts for production or for the development stage and having fun to it. Kenny and I were in a sketch troupe together in Winnipeg.
He was in
he was in the Brave New Weasels, we were called, because it was the 90s.
Now, okay, this is really like just Was he in like a cooking show, or is that? Am I thinking?
No, he's a showrunner. He's currently in Hudson and Rex.
Yeah, I looked on the website for
Yeah.
Headspinner. And pretty solid resume.
Both are awesome. Michelle's a very experienced producer. Kenny's a very experienced showrunner and great writer. And then there's me. And I'm just the face. I'm the face of the organization. Anyhow, anyway. So hopefully yes, it's going forward because we're coming up. I believe in 2021 is the 50th anniversary of the show.
That would be good timing.
So we'd love to have a retrospective about the show, the new show, and everything going by then. It's close. It just takes a lot of time.
So basically, you have some scripts for, and will it have to be piloted, or it's basically let's go?
No,
I think
a
certain number of episodes.
I think if it goes, it'll just go a season to get started. I don't think they'll stop at the pilot because I think just the return on your investment now is that if you're going, do a whole bunch.
Yeah, if you're doing all that.
You built the sets, you got the actors,
yeah.
everything's ready to go. And this is going to require some amazing sets for sure to replicate the original castle and to kind of have that kind of feel. So I think they're going to have to really go all in.
Yeah. And no Billy Van.
No Billy Van.
One person
he's been dead quite some time now.
Who's that one person who can do all of those characters?
That's an interesting question because the original show, Billy Van played about 15 different characters, and but including women. And so obviously now we want to have a more diverse cast, male, female, some kids involved, things like that to bring it back. But still have the core characters. I mean, who's going to play the Count is a big question. That's a big character, Igor, Griselda.
If you need someone to play the gorilla... they're lining up. They're lining up to play that. So that's definitely a doesn't say a lot.
Bring back. No, we definitely want to bring that character back.
I'll come in and read for that.
Not all the characters are going to come back, but that's definitely one of the ones that's on the table. But we have a pretty loose premise of what we want, and it's a really strong idea actually what we want to do for the new show. We won't make all the old fans happy. There's just no way we can do that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a cult classic. It's hard
absolutely, it is. And when you rewatch the old show, not everything holds up. As we remembered it, but we want to have a lot of those elements we had from the old show. Some of the old characters, someone to be that sort of Vincent Price role, which is the narrator. We're definitely going to have something to do with that. But we want it to be fun and be co-viewership so that hopefully kids like it fresh. They've never seen the old show, but then parents or whatever who have seen the old show tend to go, there's a wink or a nod to the old show
you got
too.
The levels on it.
So there's definitely levels to it for sure.
Yeah, well, I think I was reading up on it, and it was funny in the U.S. It was kind of a hit with college kids.
Yeah, the stoner crowd, really.
Yeah, it would air kind of late at night. And here it was definitely a kids thing. I remember watching it.
It was on brutally early here in Ontario anyway. I remember like 5, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and yet we'd get up and watch it.
I would wake up.
And that was what made it kind of weird. It was almost to me like the TV was just warming up. And what they used to warm up the TV was Frightenstein to just see if it would work.
Wall banger.
Yeah, all that, right? It was just so odd and weird. And you thought, no one can be else be watching this.
My favorite part, and I think it's what made me like the Rolling Stones, was when Igor would get in front of the green screen. And he had a green eye, obviously, because he could see right through him.
Yeah,
dancing to Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I was like, and then later on, I was like, that can't be right. They would have had to pay.
You would think, but instead they went with the strategy of let's just do it and hope to get away with it. Yeah. So a lot of the songs, no rights at all. Probably all of them.
Yeah.
Some of the revamped versions now that they're airing currently on TV have the rights. They've bought some of them, or they've just cut out the ones they couldn't get, but. Oh my goodness! It was almost like a WKRP situation where they didn't have the rights to the songs or for any longevity.
To release them, you got
no chance. So they'd have to go. But so we were excited to do it. We're all huge fans of the show. We want to respect the original, but definitely push it in a direction that's fun and for a new generation too.
Yeah. So you're looking for do you have people who are kind of sniffing around? Or are you looking for US before you can?
We definitely do. We definitely do have some pretty big. I'll get right on that mic. We definitely have some big players involved and interested, and now we just have to see what their idea of a partnership looks like.
Okay, so it's going forward in a positive.
It's definitely
direction.
going forward in a positive direction. Yep.
Nice.
Kenny and I are going to sequester ourselves for a week up at his cottage next week to. Finally get all these development scripts written and done and get a real forward motion on the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You have to go to a cottage in August?
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. What a bummer. Sorry to leave you, Kylee.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Things will get weird.
It's going to be rough.
Things will get really, really weird.
Really weird.
Yeah.
And so when you're writing these scripts, do you have folks in mind? You're like, oh, I think
we do. We definitely do. We went through a process of auditioning people for a demo that never happened.
Okay.
So we saw potential faces, and that really helped to inspire us in how to create these characters for sure.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Anyone we know?
No, not no. I can't really talk about it. There are people you would definitely know, and there are people that everyone would know.
Yeah,
that are interested. It's just it's too early to tell, and I don't want to break anybody's heart. Get their all set on one person and not get them.
But it was also cool for you to do those auditions because, like, certain characters that you thought you would definitely see these people or this genre of person or this age of person or this sex of person. And then once they read those people for that role, they were like, oh no, we have to completely change this.
Yeah.
And it was really cool that was really cool for you.
That's very true. Yeah. Sometimes the audition process doesn't just tell you who you want, it tells you who you don't want.
Yeah.
And it's not an individual you don't want, it's more the type that you don't want.
Most of my auditions tell casting people who they don't want.
Who they don't want.
Me too.
But it really was
Me
exactly. No, definitely not this person. It's more just about, it really just is about just generally like, okay, a man played Griselda because that was the whole bit, was Billy Van played everybody. That should not happen again.
No.
And that's an example of like watching auditions going, okay, now we know we don't want that.
Yeah.
Which is great. And that does help. You're right. That definitely, you're right, Kylee, shows what you want by eliminating what you don't want.
Well, and it is kind of cool. And you have a bit of a blank slate because it's not like there's comparables for every character because most of the characters were played by one single guy. So you basically just have the caricature that you can kind of mix and match and you get a chance to update and modernize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at on that. And that's not much more else to say other than hopefully it all comes together soon.
No,
hopefully.
That's good to know.
I hear a lot about it.
I know. Kylee wants to hear more. I know it did take over our lives for a long time.
Yeah.
You might have to go to the cottage another time.
Oh, no.
That would be terrible. Early, you were talking about if they do some more just like Mom and Dad. It may happen in the fall. What happens if you're committed to the Good Witch?
So that's what happened in season 1.
Oh.
It was at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I would shoot Good Witch Monday through Friday. And I negotiated a deal where I could have a hard out at 2:30 on Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I would be picked up.
Yeah.
And I would be taken to the Just Like Mom and Dad set. And I'd get there at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we'd start shooting at 5:30 or 6.
Yeah.
And we'd shoot straight through, and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I'd be picked back up at 4:30 on Monday morning for.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exhausting.
It was crazy. It was so crazy that I don't actually remember shooting the second weekend of the show.
Yeah.
Like I got so sick.
Well, and it probably runs together too. Like if you do so many episodes in such a short block of time that they probably all sort of run together.
They sort of do, but I mean, the thing that doesn't run together are the kids because they're so full of life and so amazing that. You want to remember them all, and it's hard to forget them. Really, each family is they have their own family dynamic, and it's so fun that that's the disappointment for me of that weekend of that show.
Yeah.
Sandy will say, "Oh, do you remember like Josh and Danielle? They were so great." I'm like, "No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all." And in fact, we just actually there was an episode that aired the other day, and Sandy was flipping through the channels. He was like, "Oh, look at this!" Every time he sees me on TV, look at this beauty. And he stops, and I come down, and he's like, "Remember this episode?" I'm like, "No, I don't remember that episode." And not only that, that's the episode I wore my dress backwards.
Oh.
Because I was
just like Mom and Dad?
So sick.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, our stylist was Alexis Hans. And Alexis is great, and she sometimes had to take off to go shopping while episodes were happening, and her assistants put a dress on Kylee backwards. And so she came back, And she said,
and I was too sick to notice.
What a weird deep V in the back of this shirt or this dress, big deep V in the back. And she said, well, it's on backwards. So I thought, why not just flip it around and wear it again, right?
Was it on an episode?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It made it, man. It made it. We're not going back. It was after it was all over.
And the whole episode, if you actually watch, I'm sort of like
trying
struggling
to figure
the whole time. I'm just like moving around.
She wore a dress backwards. Unbelievable. Yeah. So deep V in the back, real tight collar up front. That's what happens when you wear a dress backwards. And the zipper sometimes is in the front, but that was not a dead giveaway.
But very, very family appropriate.
Very family appropriate. Yeah.
Right up to the
no cleavage. Zero cleavage. Yeah.
But that back.
Whoa, yeah. That back.
Do not turn around.
So good.
The set was pretty, because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to like sets and that type of thing. And I was like, wow, it was really beautiful.
It's a fantastic set.
It's
really awesome.
It really is.
They went above and beyond. Well, Kylee, you saw it the first time. I saw it before you because the first season I was writing on the show, so I went in early. Yeah. And then I brought Kylee in to show her. I was like, Kylee, you've got to see the set. It's unbelievable. Just don't even think about it. Just walk in and see it. And what did you think, Kylee?
I started crying.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's especially for, you think game shows typically kind of chintzy and
like a Price is Right is even chintzy. But
it's got a bit of a kitsch value to it. Yeah. But just in general, like, although some of the bigger, I guess, game shows are fancying it up, but I think just growing up with typical game shows, you don't expect it to be this.
We were shocked.
Beauty. I remember Sandy and I years ago, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the year, but we were in LA. He was doing pilot season, I guess, and I had just come down to visit. And we went to The Price is Right. Yeah. And somebody he met got us on the lot so that we didn't have to wait in the line.
Oh, nice.
And we could just sit in the front row and watch the game show.
And you could have the name tag on your shirt, but you couldn't be in the draw. You couldn't be a contestant because you're friends of CBS.
Yeah. And so we watched the whole thing, and we're game show freaks anyway. And I was just so enthralled with the whole thing. And then afterwards, we were given a backstage tour, and I was just like, "Oh my! This is insane!"
And was this Bob Barker era?
Yes.
Nice.
So we're going through the backstage, and we're seeing all of the games, like the Plinko board, and like all of the stuff. And we come to the big wheel, and I just look at it, and it's this chintzy little wheel that they have to actually, on stage at that time, hold up with sandbags so that it doesn't fall over. And I just thought, the magic of television, to make it all look so good.
Oh, yeah.
And in first season of Just Like Mom and Dad, our wheel was not great.
Our wheel was a little wobbly, but walking into this is even when you're just doing, like, I remember Life with Boys and all these shows, and Kylee probably the same with I'm sure on Good Witch. A big fan of set design, really am. Love that sort of thing, the detail and the coolness of that. When you first walk into something like, I remember walking in Life with Boys and going, oh my goodness, like this is our kitchen and this is our living room. How awesome this is! It's overwhelming. It's so cool. Yeah. But I also remember that on Life with Boys, when this first season started, I walked a kitchen and a living room, the kids' rooms, like the bunk beds for the two youngest kids, the oldest kid, Tessa's room, amazing room. Open a door that's my room, there's nothing there. They hadn't created a room for me. They're like, well, there's no scenes in Dad's room until like maybe the end of season 1. I got a room. Yeah. I was so disappointed, but it's really overwhelming because you really walk in, even on the game show with Kylee and I walk in on Just Like Mom and Dad, you see the set and you think this is all for us.
Yeah, I know.
It's so cool that so many people got together to make this thing all for us. And the contestants and everyone involved, but just like the work went in was really appreciated instantly, I think, by both of us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Kylee, you did the Strain. Did you do episode of The Strain?
I did.
Where did you shoot it? Was it an interior or?
Interior, on Eastern.
Off Eastern. Just off Eastern.
Lakeshore.
There's one of the cinema spaces down south of Eastern. I went through the tour of like a couple of those and sort of all the cave stuff, and then the laboratory, and I'm always just the detail and the way they can get stuff to look old and rusty, and
amazing.
I'm always amazed by that stuff.
It was so insane because that was like, that show was one of my biggest fears I conquered to do that to do those couple of episodes that I did, which was like a personal great for me.
Why was it such a
just
fear?
because I have a really hard time. Well, I'll tell you my fear as an actor. I cannot look down the barrel of a camera and deliver lines. I have a very, very hard time with it. I once did an audition at Stephanie Gorin's. I can't remember the show, and I was supposed to be a reporter looking down the barrel of the camera, and I could not, for the life of me, get it out. And, Joe, who was running the session, was just so sweet and kind and was just like, well, we'll just take it again. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll just take it again. And he just kept saying, we'll take it again, until finally on like the 15th try, as it was about to break down, I got it out. And I thought, I will never do that again. And literally 10 years later, I was given this opportunity to do this, and I thought, no, I can't. There's no way I can do this. But I did. And
So,
those are one of those times I laid in the bathtub for literally a week after just reciting
Doing
the
lines.
lines.
So you were playing a reporter?
I was playing like the leader of a resistance.
Oh, so you had to send messages out directly.
But
propaganda kind of thing.
yeah, but before before my first scene, they were finishing another scene, and they were doing it in like air ducts, like the guy was climbing through the air ducts, and they just had a freestanding air duct.
Yeah.
And the way that he would go through the air duct and the way they were filming it, and to watch him do it and then go behind Video Village and watch it being shot, it blew my mind, like how that could happen, and just the brilliance of those oh my God, that team was incredible.
There's a really beautiful luxury apartment, and it just so many details, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and Guillermo del Toro got his star today, right? On the Walk of Fame.
Did he?
He did, yes.
Yesterday or today, today.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Well, he's just amazing guy.
Yeah, he sure is.
And he's sort of made Toronto his home base.
Loves it here.
Which is great
amazing.
for us.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
His work's great.
You guys like game shows?
We love game shows.
Do you know that theme?
That one I'm not sure of. What
The
it is.
Newlywed.
Kylie knows.
Yeah.
Love
You
it.
probably know because I sort of maybe mentioned, because initially you were...
No, guys,
I'm
because
very
the
excited
very
you know that.
first thing of the entire song is da 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 da.
Oh,
da.
Kylie.
Guys,
I think that's...
She is
We're
razor
guys.
sharp, but she's so smart. I mean, she's so smart.
We're
That was
guys.
nice. That was awesome.
We would
Actually,
not
very
get
impressive,
that.
Kylie. I know a lot of useless information. That was awesome.
Okay, now this is... It's going to be a bit of a modified version, because
Okay.
typically what I do is send one of you off somewhere else, and then send a kid to go get you and bring you back in.
I can go take care of the
Send a
dog
kid.
if you.
Hold on,
But then we could send Sandy maybe. Wait, but the dog might be up at my
take the
mother's
music. Take the
bedroom.
music off for a second.
Yeah.
You send a kid. You usually have a kid here. You send off.
I'm only last week when my nephews were here.
Okay.
I sent them up to get their
Okay.
father and mother. We did it with my.
Okay, well,
my
we
sister.
won't.
Okay,
we
I was just
won't
making
cheat.
sure.
Okay.
Because you
So what will
just want to get that sentence out. Usually, I have a kid.
Usually I have a kid.
Yeah, usually have a kid who does
Who
this.
lives down here.
I really wish I just usually have a kid who just does whatever I want.
So what? Usually what we do is we say, if we asked your partner,
Yeah.
da 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 da, what would they say? And then we
Right.
bring you down and you show.
Try to match them. Much
So-
just like mom and dad. Yes.
Yeah. So this will be similar, but what we'll get you to do is, how will we do this?
Right at the same time?
Right at the same time, but I'm just trying to think of. Yeah, we'll
Just do
figure
one
it
at
out.
a time.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
Okay.
But hide it from me.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And so maybe do one answer per page, and then you can flip it.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah,
Sounds
I like
see?
this.
Yeah. All right.
We missed rehearsals, so we didn't get to this.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When did you? And this is a mutual one, so you can probably figure it out. When did you have your first fight, and what was it about?
Ooh.
And you can just put like a short form for now, and then we can get into the details later to see if you match.
Now you can put the music
I'm not
on.
spelling this right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense. now.
Yeah, just put the basics so you remember when we actually go to ask it and see if you got the
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
This is an easy one. which one of you said "I love you" first?
Ooh.
Where's that music? We need.
See?
This is the Newlywed Game.
Yeah, now I hear it.
Yeah.
Before I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you got that one?
Yeah.
What was the first movie that you both watched together in a theater?
Oh, gee, that's a tough one. Yeah.
That is really tough.
Take a stab.
Yeah, I'll take a shot.
Really?
Okay, got it. I got one. I
got one?
Yeah, I think it's accurate.
All right. Kai's writing down something. Some of these are not where you match, but we'll try them anyway. What is the most embarrassing thing your spouse has said or done around you?
The most embarrassing thing they've said or done?
Around you, yeah. I know it's tricky.
Sandy, you do embarrassing things all the time.
What's the most?
I know that must be really tricky for you because I do embarrassing things. I agree all the time. I always think I'm a different person. Like I think I'm coming from an endearing place, but it's not endearing.
All right. No.
Okay.
There's some filthy ones on here, but
some filthy ones. That's Kylie territory.
I don't know if we want to do this. There's how long does your love making usually last?
Oh man.
You don't have to answer that if it's too personal.
I make love. She has sex.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Sandy's
I make love.
He's a love maker.
I'm a romantic.
Yeah.
Kylie's.
I've always seen you as a bit of a romantic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the answer already?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah. Just about as quick as
I was just going to say.
her sex.
Okay, here's another one. Okay,
making.
this is the only other one that's sort of in that category. Where is the strangest place?
Oh boy.
You have made love.
The classic newlywed question.
Yeah. And it's what was the classic blooper
That's it. That's the one. So apparently that never made its air.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's that was on the documentary Game Changers. They said that actually never made its air. So anybody who said, I remember that episode when it was aired is lying. It was a clip that came out as like
on one of those blooper shows.
Yeah, it came out later, but it actually never aired in the original. And so when people say that is not true. They could not have seen it originally.
Ironically, it's probably the most watched segment of that. Did you spill beer on yourself?
I spilled.
In a really strange way, and then she had a really strange
I just like wiping off.
I'm still working on the strangest place.
Like if you have to think about it, then there must have been a few.
Yeah, there's a few. But I don't know what's actually considered true. I'm going to go question mark. I'm curious what Kylie's going to come up with on that one.
Together, this is the strangest place that you...
This is like right now, having sex in front of you is probably the strangest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's not strange. Just pick a place.
Awkward or whatnot.
Yeah. All right, pick a place. What other questions we have on here? Who of you is smarter?
Oh, that's an easy one.
And finally, which one of you proposed marriage first?
Now that's interesting because what do you mean by that? Propose the idea of?
Well, I think if like the traditional proposal, it's we know what it is, but who sort of was the? I think the person who said, let's do this.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Yeah. I think maybe when we were talking earlier in the show, that may have foreshadowed that question.
Yeah. Okay, we got lots here.
All right, let's see what happens here. All right,
okay, interesting.
I have to remember which questions on this list I asked you. When did you have your first fight, and what was it about? What did you guys say?
Kylie, what'd you say?
I said the first month. Because you weren't paying attention to me, and it had to do with Mark Hickox.
Mark Hickox.
She said first month. I said first night we met because she kissed another guy.
Oh.
That wasn't the first night.
I thought it was the first night.
Okay, tell me about that.
She didn't think I was paying enough attention to her, so she decided to make out with a friend of ours to get
Mark
me to,
Hickox?
Yeah, to get us to pay more attention to her.
Here's what happened.
And
Sandy, as I said, was having the summer of Sandy when I met him, and we met, and we had been dating for about a month, and it was not going well because it was on his terms.
Oh, Sandy.
And I thought, this isn't going to happen like this. So if he wants it on his terms, fine, but I'll give him one last chance. And so I told Mark about it, and Mark and I concocted this plan.
Oh, Mark was a
Mark
in
had no
on
problem with it.
Yeah,
I got this
I've
great
got a plan.
idea.
Why don't you and I make out?
Yeah, we make out,
Did
then
Did he show you his uterus, his tattoo?
The two of us were playing it up that night just to try, and it
just
worked.
playing it up. Mark was just playing it up.
Okay, now
Anyway.
if you think there's a summer of Sandy, that's nothing compared to the other the Mark Hickox's summer.
Oh yeah, a day of Mark is for
A
Day
day
of
of
Mark was
Mark.
the summer of Sandy.
Yeah, that's exactly
An
it.
hour of
Let's
Mark.
be honest. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Okay, and Sandy, what did you say?
Oh, I said it was the first night. I thought same incident. However, I thought it was the first night we met.
Oh,
The
okay.
first night.
I don't know. I thought maybe
Wait, so there's a discrepancy here. You thought you were dating for a month, and Sandy only thought it was the first night you were
I thought we
together.
were gonna fight.
I was
I thought
So
we were
what
gonna
happened
fight.
in that month between?
That
Sandy?
makes sense. No, she's probably right. I just
right.
misremembered it.
All right, next one. Who said? Which one of you said "I love you" first?
Must have been Kylee. Kylie's a big heart, and she would definitely have said it
Yeah.
first. I would have been freaked out to say it first.
Yeah, I said.
I can see that,
I definitely said me.
and that's I think fairly typical.
You had on a wrong. Do you have a
Oh.
ding ding? Yes, there we go. We're on the board,
Do you
babe.
know where which game show those sounds are from?
That ding sounds like Family Feud.
It is when the thing turned around,
Yeah.
Probably the buzzer too, right?
the buzzer,
Yeah, it's Family
That's
Feud.
yeah,
Family
the
Feud.
X's come up.
Yeah.
It's the best for right and wrong, best sound effects
Oh yeah,
that exist in history.
Nice. Yeah.
What was the first movie that you both watched together in a theater?
Kylie, what'd you say?
I said it had to have been some superhero movie.
I said Team America.
Oh.
I remember
Wait,
seeing
Team
that.
America is not that's like the puppet.
Oh, that's not a right answer. Thank you.
It's hilarious.
But wait,
though.
did you remember? That was very early on in our relationship.
It was
anyway.
early on, but I don't think
Yeah.
it was the first movie.
Okay.
I laughed. The puppet pooping scene in that made me like cry laughing. It's
That's a brilliant movie.
That movie is incredible.
fantastic. Gary. What is your? Did I ask this one? What is your spouse's favorite movie?
No,
No.
I didn't
no.
ask that one. Okay.
Do you want to just say it verbally?
Why don't
Kylie,
you-
what do you think it
Kylie,
is?
what do you think?
I think Sandy's favorite movie is The Untouchables.
That's correct. And I think yes, Kylie's favorite movie is Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
It's a toss-up.
Is it that one? Okay, so here's the movies that she likes: St. Elmo's Fire,
Wow.
Adventures in Babysitting, Can't Buy Me Love,
Yeah.
and Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, those are my top 4
I
favorites.
know her
Were
face.
you a Rob Lowe fan?
I love that man.
I was like of any guy, like if I was a man who was into men, that like he's a like weirdly alien handsome.
Yeah, he's alien
It's
handsome.
like it's just like it's just strangely handsome.
I posted a picture on Instagram the other day of Sandy and our friend Peter Oldring, and someone said, "Your husband looks strangely like Rob Lowe."
What?
And it was the best compliment
That's-
I've
yeah.
ever.
Oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the mullet and the
We're very similar. Clearly, we both take care of ourselves. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
okay. And I don't even know what girls just want to have fun.
Oh my gosh.
What's that movie?
Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker,
Okay.
when they were young little girls, and it was like a dance competition.
Oh.
Shannon Doherty's little sister, right?
Shannon Doherty
Yeah.
is the little sister. Oh, you have to.
And
see
did they
it.
get the rights to the Cyndi Lauper song?
Yeah, and I own it if you want to borrow it.
I may have to. It sounds like fun.
I love the whispered, "Oh, it's so great."
It's so good.
All right. Most embarrassing thing your spouse has said or done around you, Sandy?
I think we jumped a bunch here.
Oh wait, okay,
Josh.
go. Yeah,
I think we were. Are we, Kylie?
Did I come back to that?
Oh no, this is right. Yeah,
Oh.
this is right. Sorry, Josh. That's
That's
my
right.
bad. I said she often will just say to people randomly, "How long it's been since we had sex?"
Oh, That's
That's the most embarrassing thing you say around me.
not like my arms are on backwards, or
Nope.
Okay.
You will just say, someone will say, "Oh my God, we just had sex." It's been she'll be like 7 years. She exaggerates all the time. It's been 7 years.
Sure.
Go for yours.
Mine was that he made baby boiled carrots and chicken fingers and calls it dinner.
Oh well, those are quite different answers. Let's get a horn on that one.
This isn't for the This isn't for the answer. This is just for the lifestyle choice.
Oh boy. This next one's gonna be hot.
Is this the irritating?
How
habit?
long?
Oh, we skipped that. Okay. The lovemaking?
Yes.
Okay. So
Sandy couldn't even say it.
So you've already written it down. So
my love making, Kylie's sex.
Let's get you to say what you think Kylee said, and we'll see if she.
Guess Kylie's answer?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Let's see your answer.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yes.
but lifestyle.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Sandy
wrote 3
Honestly.
seconds.
Who are you?
He's a comedian.
It was for the comedy. It was for the comedy. And this next one.
Okay, now what we'll do is we'll get you to answer it on mic and then reveal the answer, and then she'll guess what you would say. But if it matches, then it doesn't matter.
I don't understand that instruction at
all.
all.
All right. Well, where's the
I'll get you to answer it, Mike.
Where's the strangest place you think she said you made love? Is it going to be?
I just said her ear, but I just meant it as a joke. I didn't know out of an answer.
Right.
What did you say,
Kylie?
I said on a cruise ship in a storm at sea.
Oh, what a great answer! That's a great answer, and it's also
Good
true.
answer.
I love her for that answer.
In a storm at sea.
This next answer, Josh. I guarantee we're gonna both have the same answer.
All right. And this is the
who's smarter?
Who's smarter? I bet you I could guess too.
Yeah,
everyone said Kylie.
Very easily, Kylie. Yes. She wrote me.
I know me.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, she's definitely smarter.
Come on now.
I'm kind of trivia smart.
Yeah,
she's life.
She's
smart.
real world.
Oh yeah,
smart.
she's definitely real world smart.
And
she'll just say things to me like, "Why would you do that?" Or "You can't do that," or "You can't wear that together." And she's always right.
You see, I need someone like that in my life.
It's very important. Very important.
That's many things have gone wrong because I haven't had a buffer between me and life. Like, no, you can't do that. You're not.
Yeah,
Josh, you can ask me anytime.
Right. She knows what she's talking about. She does.
My personal advisor.
You don't do that.
Just don't.
No.
Was this the last one we asked? Which one of you proposed marriage first?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Probably the same as.
Yeah, Kylie pushed for marriage. Yeah, Kylie did.
You both answered that correctly.
Yeah, Kylie pushed for marriage, and then at the month she said, "You know what? I don't care anymore. Get married or don't. I guess we can just live together." I then proposed. That's what I needed her to do, was lay off, and then we could get into it. So we did.
And what part of town are you guys in now?
We're in the east end of town.
A lot of people moved on east.
East Enders here in Toronto.
Like Corktown.
We're in what's it? Lower Riverdale.
We're in Riverdale.
Lower Riverdale. They call it South Riverdale.
South Riverdale. We love it.
Nice.
We were always West Enders. And
well, that's not actually true. When we met, we were
both East Enders when we met. Yeah.
Well, I was not. You were, but I had been an East Ender.
That's right.
Who had gone to the Annex.
Yeah.
But we both had our experience in the East End previous to being there now in the East End.
Yes.
Yes.
The only place I remember.
Glad we got that straightened out.
Yeah. The only place I remember you living was in that kind of Art Deco building down in Spadina.
Yeah, Kylie and I, that's our first place. We had a condo at Richmond and Spadina.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct. The Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh got that one absolutely correct. It was the Morgan. Yes.
Just for fun, do you want to do some regular old trivia?
Oh, God, yeah.
Kylie said that Sandy is the trivia genius.
Sandy is a trivia master.
Now I'll be
So let's put that to the test.
Let's see.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. I just want to use the ding and the dang a little bit
Okay,
more.
sure. The ding and the dang.
Ding and the dang.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ding and the dang with Josh Holiday. Yes, nice.
All right.
The ding.
Unknown caller. Unknown caller.
And the dang.
Oh, someone's actually calling
Okay,
direct here.
let's see what we got.
Should I take that?
Yeah, that'll be a ding or a dang. Let's do it.
Let's see here.
I say do it.
Hopefully it's someone who likes us.
Maybe it's a cruise ship.
I missed the call.
Cruise ship offer.
It looks like I'm calling it now.
Are we calling back people?
I don't know. It seems to be calling it back.
Radio MPC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've dialed the wrong number.
Is this Josh?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to call you just now.
I'm wondering where that was going.
I think I was in trouble. Like it's a.
Where was that from?
From CBC.
Oh
Okay.
no!
Why are you in trouble? What'd you do?
The only thing, and I wish I could. I don't know. What
Oh my goodness, we should have stayed on that call, Josh.
I know. The problem is I'm live, but I've been doing work at CBC.
Yeah.
And we're putting promos and stuff into the system.
Yeah.
To go on the air, and now I'm like, oh, it's something not in the system that's supposed to go to air.
So at 9:45.
But there's not much I can do about it because the normal guy that I'm filling in for, he can access stuff from home. But the guy who puts the stuff in, though, is not me. It's Dave Carley. So I hope
Let me just like make sure we know how you handled that situation. You just hung up on a guy who needed your help.
Okay, but the thing is,
what are you running here?
No, but the thing is, that's stuff that I can't put him on the air without him having consent.
That's a great excuse for not helping a guy.
I will call back like in 15 minutes and explain the situation.
Okay,
but by then probably everything will have gone awry.
He'll understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh, I need your help.
That's really awkward.
I can't.
I was actually hoping it would be like, oh, maybe it's like a good call. Maybe someone who's fun.
Yeah.
No,
but
well,
just ignore it.
My brother called. That's the important thing.
Well, that's the first time I've got a call like while I'm on the line with the other thing.
I really wish Kylie's family had called. That would have been interesting.
Well,
East Coasters.
I kept checking my phone because I put it out to my nephews, and neither one of them
No,
responded.
East Coasters. No.
Neither one.
It's if they have Canada by calling, it's a free call.
Let's do this trivia.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to redial this number to get us hooked up again.
Oh, I thought you were redialing the guy that tried to get your help, to desperately needed your help.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host.
We're in.
All right.
Guys, we're in.
All right, here we go.
I can't wait to see the swag bag we're walking out of here
Oh,
with.
you should see it.
I gotta know how that works, what we're going to get. Yeah.
I hope there's
Welcome,
face
host.
creams.
You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call.
That's good. Okay.
It's a bag of
Let's
face
do trivia.
creams.
If you want to play trivia, you can call us.
Talk that rocks. It's Josh Holiday Live. Need to be heard? Tell your phone to call 647-6-YO-JOSH.
Glitchy
it.
there. It was, wasn't it?
Well, maybe it was the guy from CBC calling
trying
to
to
say,
call through the
Josh,
same time.
I'm trying to make sure this is not
trying to
glitchy
make
for
sure
you.
this-
I'm calling to help you.
The national
The
national network depends on you. you know?
Josh. Oh, well.
All right, here we go. This is an arts question.
Great. Kylie can jump in this one.
Yeah. Who wrote The Invisible Man?
Sandy, you know this.
The answer to that question is Louis Stevenson.
Robert Louis Stevenson?
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Final answer?
Yes.
H.G. Wells. Do you watch Futurama?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this
Should have known
question.
that one. Should have known H.G. Wells.
I don't
I
know
don't
this one.
watch it.
Oh.
I haven't really watched it either, so Sandy will.
Do you really
Sandy.
want it?
Oh, I got rid of the question. That's not going to work. All right.
Nice.
What holiday, this is history, what holiday was first celebrated in Spokane, Washington on June 19th, 1910?
Ooh, what holiday, Kylie? Spokane, Washington, 1910. What do you think, Kylie? I'm going to go with Arbor Day.
That can't be right.
It's sort of it's not a great question because it's not really a national holiday. It's just Father's Day.
Oh, damn. I'm on a roll here.
That sort of doesn't.
I'm on a roll here. I'm giving answers, but they're not right.
No.
That's okay. Oh, here's a good one. What title role was filled by Lon Chaney in 1923, Charles Lawton in 1939, and Anthony Hopkins in 1982?
Kylie, I've got it if you don't.
Go.
The Wolfman. Yay! There we go.
Oh, shit. It's not the Wolfman.
Yay! I got it anyway.
I thought you had such confidence that you're like, I got it.
I got this Wolfman.
It was the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I'm going to just going to sell it with such confidence that the bell goes off.
This one, both of you,
okay,
I would think should know.
Okay.
In the 1982 movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial, who plays Elliot's younger sister?
All right, you got this, Kylie. Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
Yes, penis breath. There was a line.
Yeah, there was a line.
In the movie, yeah, penis breath.
Here's a science one. How many pounds of jet fuel does a passenger Boeing 747 use during takeoff?
No.
You can be
take a shot, Kylie.
Take a rough guess.
No.
How much you weighing this?
Pounds of jet fuel, Boeing 747.
All right. It's going to be 2 tons.
That's not pounds.
I don't know. But 2,000 pounds.
Almost 6,000 pounds.
Wow.
So,
Josh, where's the sports questions?
Yeah, let's get some sports.
H.G. Wells.
Do they have sports in here?
I tell you, H.G. Wells was in the back of my head.
How many centimeters is an inchworm?
Oh, you know what it was,
3
Stevenson?
inches.
You know what I was snaking it with?
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
That's for whatever reason that bounced in my head.
Here's a music one that you both might have a good shot at this one. What popular musician's last name is Kilcher?
Kilcher?
Kilcher.
Well, it's got to be Bono.
Your least favorite musician?
Isn't his last name Vox?
Oh, I don't. Like Sting.
Give us a hint.
It's female.
Oh, there we go. Lady Gaga.
Pink.
Blondie.
She sometimes yodel sings.
Oh, wait. You said Lady Gaga, right?
I did.
Not Lady Gaga. A little bit more folksy. She did some acting. I think she dated Sean Penn. Busty.
Busty Boombaye.
Not great teeth.
Oh, shoot. Jewel is correct.
Jewel Kilcher.
God, all you have to
Jewel
say was she
Kilcher.
lived in her car and was from Alaska.
I was going to say Jewel, and then you said she did
Kylie.
some acting. I was like...
We have to go
She
until...
did, I think 1 or 2, like not a lot of acting.
No. We have to get one right for me. One right for me, because I haven't gotten one right.
Here's a sports and entertainment question.
All right.
Crosses 2 axes for Sandy.
Okay.
Excellent.
What sport is the focus of the movie Breaking Away?
Oh, thank God. Bike racing. Cycling.
Bicycle racing.
Yes.
All right.
Thank God I got that one, eh, Kylie?
Yeah.
Nice work.
I believe, is that Costner in that? Daniel Stern? Who's in that one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But we'll pretend that that's who's in it.
H.G. Wells was definitely in Breaking Away.
Yeah.
Heck of a cyclist. Heck of a cyclist.
He was very big on cycling.
Yeah.
The screenplay was by Robert Louis Stevenson.
That's right. Author of Jekyll and Hyde.
So we are getting close to the end. So
wow.
Everyone's got... Now, this is something I meant to discuss earlier, but smoking used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
For a long time. And
this is one of those segues you talked about earlier?
Sort of. Now we know that smoking is not so good, and we try and encourage people not to smoke. Social media has sort of become like that, where early on everyone was all excited about it, but now people are like, yeah, I just wish I could quit it. I wish I wasn't on it. And then in the same way that some people start smoking late, and you're like, what are you thinking? Sandy just started social media.
Mm-hmm.
I did just start. So I was wondering where that was going. I did just start social media, and I got to be honest, Josh, I'm thinking about getting off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there used to be times, because you're the only one really amongst the group of people that I know that has steadfastly not been on it.
No.
And there's been a lot of times where I've been envious. I'm like, he must get stuff done. Like, he's productive, he's working hard, he's doing things. And I was envious. But now you're on there.
Yeah.
And most of your posts are reviews of albums.
Well, that's Music Monday. I do Music Monday. I Film Friday. Kylie, you do some of that review stuff too.
I started to do a little bit.
Now.
Okay,
but,
well that's good though.
Honestly, I think I'm probably not going to be on it for much longer. No. I don't care for it. I just don't care. Yeah. I don't care anyone's doing it. I don't care that they know what I'm doing.
No, I loathe social media. Like I absolutely hate it, and I just think it's like such a time suck.
But in this world, like the entertainment world, it's sort of you almost kind of have to.
Well, you have to. Like,
you lose parts to people who have more followers.
I've lost 2 roles because of it. And Sandy and I were asked to do it for a show, and so we did. We hate it.
Yeah.
And we're not good at it. And, you know, some people are just really good at it and natural at it and love to do it. And kudos to them. I liked Facebook when it came out because it was a great way to email people.
Yeah. Well,
when you didn't have
sort of,
email.
yeah, it's just sort of, it was connected, but now it's, in a lot of cases, it's like, look at what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My Instagram is mostly just pictures of the ferocious dog you met earlier.
Yeah, Boise.
And then my other one, the Instagram is just this thing and this show, and then random things I see on the street that are weird.
Right.
But it's
Which
not,
is commendable. That's a nice little way to do it. I know, absolutely. Well, you'd want to do that. You know, honestly, I tried it. I just
so
feel...
are you on all like, are you're I saw you're on Facebook.
I'm on Twitter.
You're on Twitter?
Facebook, and Instagram.
Instagram too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Instagram is probably the one I'm most active on.
Well, because you can share just interesting photographs.
Yeah, but interesting, I
Yeah.
don't know. I would rather that the people that want to see it are just with me, or I just personally share it. I'm fading fast on
you
social
need a
media.
posse. A posse.
A posse.
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 A posse.
Speaking of Summer, Sandy. So I think that I don't need a posse. I think that I don't know. It's not interested. It's not interesting to me to see it or to do it. I just don't like it anymore.
Well, that said, how can people find you?
Make sure you go to Sandy J. Bevans at Instagram.
Sandy J.
Yeah,
Bevans.
that's right. Please get there. I've got so many followers, but I can always have more. Kylie actually is very fantastic at Instagram and all the social media
But what's
stuff.
your Twitter
No,
then,
I'm not.
Sandy?
Twitter, honestly, I don't even know
Okay,
what Twitter is.
so Instagram, you want the
I know
pictures.
I know it's Sandy J. Bevans at Instagram.
Are there any Sandy without a shirt shots there? Any beefcake shots?
Not a lot of
no.
beefcake shots.
Maybe
no.
tonight?
There will never be that.
Jeez. Maybe tonight. That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight. That'll be my last post.
That's right.
Yeah. My last post will
I
be my
quit.
bum.
Yeah.
My last post will be my bum on all platforms. And I
Perfect.
quit forever.
Kylie, what's your stuff?
I'm Kylie Evans here, and I am on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but I don't think I've ever tweeted in my life, really, other than like copying what I've
retweeting?
done for me.
Retweet. You call it retweeting, Kylie.
Copy.
The copy
Oh,
tweets.
see, I wouldn't
I do
even
the copy
know.
tweets.
I don't know the tweets. Yeah, you can follow me. You can come on and see shirtless photos of my husband. That
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
I will. I'll do it tonight.
Okay,
Good,
great.
Good witch stuff. Maybe we'll see some just like mom and dad stuff. down the line.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's lots of just like mom and dad stuff that's really great. Good Witch stuff is fantastic. We want to support all the networks and shows that put us on, and we want to support what they're doing. But I personally am not great at it, so I need their help.
I like to show my friends and what they're doing too, and like
Yeah.
support the community, and that's
Nice. See, Kylie has the right attitude.
what I like to do.
Yeah,
I'm similar on Twitter where mostly I'll retweet something and maybe put a comment with it, or occasionally a bon mot. Is that that's what people call it these days, right?
a bon mot.
Yeah.
From your pussy.
And I mostly use it as a news aggregate where I follow things that I like, news sources.
Sure,
and
yeah.
people whose opinions I value.
It's good for sports too. Some
That's
sports
true.
highlights and updates and stuff like that too. But honestly, for me personally,
Yeah.
bah. That's my review.
Yeah.
Of myself.
You're such an interesting guy.
Oh man.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Get me in a room. Let's go hang out together. Get off your phone. Let's get
Come
hang out
on.
together. That's my thing.
No, maybe because you don't want to be on the social media, but you want people to sort of live your life with you. Where can people find you address-wise?
Perfect. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
In fact, here's my phone number. Just call me tonight. I'll take my shirt off and send you a
That's
picture.
right.
Yeah. Where can people find you address-wise?
Maybe you can designate a window that people live can either come and listen to you speak or just see you shirtless.
This was the window, and I did this entire podcast shirtless.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll try and get the pictures up later if we can.
Yeah. I am still very disappointed in how I did in that trivia section, Kylie.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I think just what happened to me.
I mean, I'm disappointed in you.
Oh man, not in yourself?
No.
Well, because she set the expectation. She said, that's not my thing. I'm good at life, but not necessarily trivia.
Yeah, I know. I thought it'd be great.
But you...
Yeah, I failed.
You should... It's like setting up a joke saying, oh my God, this is really, really funny.
The funniest joke
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
If you set the expectations low...
Yeah. I'm terrible at trivia, and then nail a bunch. That's the way you do it.
I think, but in life, it's a life lesson.
It is a life lesson. I will remember to do that next time.
Set expectations low for people.
Yep. Lower the bar.
And
jump over it.
And jump slightly over it, and people will be impressed.
I agree.
I think we should find a pub with a trivia show on the way home.
Just to make up for
pub
this?
Trivia?
I love it.
Have you gone to a pub trivia
I have
lately?
not, ever. It sounds like a nightmare. But Kylie might be right. Just keep going around until I get a couple right, and then I can go home. No, I'm not going home yet. No, get out of my way. I got to get 2 here.
The best is at those the bar trivia. We used to go to them, and there's people who are like so serious about it that after a round they'll go up and argue with the host. No, but technically, blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, that's awful.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good. All right. Well, it's been a great hang.
Are we at the end already?
Yeah, I know. It didn't feel like it, right?
Oh, my goodness. How many seconds do we have left?
I don't know. Like, how many you want? Because it's not on the...
I like how many do you want?
Yeah,
I think that's the right answer. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Josh, thank you very much. This has been a real pleasure. Kylee Evans, my wife. What a
lovely
pleasure.
Kylee Evans.
Great to see you. I never get to see you enough.
Never.
What a joy. Always a joy. A beautiful joy. And Josh... You're also a beautiful joy.
I haven't seen you guys in a while either.
I know,
it's
just
been an all-around beautiful joy.
This is all beautiful joy.
All right.
It's been a beautiful joy.
Let's get off the mic. So
let's get off the mug.
See, it's time.
It's time.
That's
Let's
how you
go.
know it's time.
Let's get out of here.
I can't pronounce words anymore.
Here we go.
Turn on the lights. Open the shades.
The show's over, but the conversation continues. On Twitter at Josh Holiday. On the web at joshholidaylive.com. And hear missed episodes on your favorite podcatcher. Talk that rocks. Josh Holiday Live.